Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 1st of August 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed up 0.3% today to 8,815 points, pushing through that 8,100 point mark for the first time. In early morning trading, the market hit as high as 8,145 points. There was a bunch of stocks that were doing okay, although some of them faded later in the day. The rise comes after the better than expected inflation figures yesterday. National Australia Bank ended the day down more than 1%. That was about the worst of the lot. Commonwealth Bank was off 0.7%, at least they were the worst of the large caps. It was the tech stocks and real estate investment trusts that did best. Goodman Group jumped 3.6%. Xero was up 2%. Rio, following its bumper profit yesterday, jumped 2%, while Woodside and Woolies also did well. In corporate news, Australian Indigenous leader, social advocate and lawyer Noel Pearson has joined the board of iron ore miner Fortescue as a non-executive director. Australia's competition watchdog said it won't oppose Louis Dreyfus's proposed acquisition of Nimoy Cotton, despite concerns the deal could lessen competition in the supply of cotton ginning services in the north of Western Australia and the Northern Territory. Nimoy's share price jumped 6% today. And Defence Technology Group DroneShield completed its $120 million capital raise and began trading again. Its share price was down 15%. Story number 2, the Federal Reserve has said it could start lowering interest rates in the world's largest economy as soon as September, after holding borrowing costs at a 23-year high for 8 meetings in a row. The Fed Chair Jay Powell said there'd been a real discussion at the Fed Open Market Committee about cutting rates in the US. The FOMC flagged further progress towards lowering inflation to its 2% goal, but it maintained that officials would need even greater confidence before they're willing to cut. However, markets have now priced in a cut in September. Significantly, Mr. Powell noted that the Fed does not need to see further weakening across the labour market to believe it has a handle on inflation. Story number 3, Albemarle, the world's largest lithium producer, will cut 300 jobs from its Australian operations and slow down its production of the commodity. Today, the group said it will stop constructing the third production unit at its Kemerton facility south of Perth and put the second unit into care and maintenance. Instead, it will focus on ramping up Unit 1 within the lithium hydroxide processing facility. It follows a sharp drop in lithium spodumene prices, which are down 88% from their peak back in 2022. Western Australia has now lost around 7,000 jobs in the nickel and lithium industries since prices of both commodities started tumbling. Story number 4, Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg said strengthening the group's core advertising business will allow the company to continue spending heavily on artificial intelligence next year and beyond, triggering an 8% jump in its share price overnight. The company's Meta AI chatbot was also on track to become the most used AI assistant in the world by the end of the year, Mr. Zuckerberg said. He also said that while products such as chatbots would increase engagement with Meta's platform, it would take years for the monetization of any of those things by themselves. Revenue at the social media group jumped 22% to $39 billion in the 3 months to the end of June. That was better than people had forecast. Net income at Meta, which of course includes Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp, rose 73% to $13.5 billion. And finally, story number 5, not sure what to make of this one. Donald Trump has questioned Vice President Kamala Harris's identity as a black woman in front of an audience of black journalists, suggesting his opponent for the presidency had adopted her racial profile as a way to gain a political advantage. In comments that were jeered by the audience, Mr. Trump said, and I quote, "She was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden, she made a turn and she became a black person." End of quote. Ms. Harris's mother is Indian American. Her father is Jamaican. Ms. Harris has always identified as a black woman, according to the New York Times. Now, Mr. Trump's remarks prompted gasps and jeers from the audience of the National Association of Black Journalists in Chicago. The former president's combative appearance was one of the more unusual of the campaign so far, as he sparred with reporters over diversity efforts, repeated falsehoods about a range of subjects, and told the group that he was the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 1st of August, 2024. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning with a Friday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.